Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Gonzo Ewok channel with me, Ewok,
and me, Gonzo,
for another episode of Geordie Space Program.
Now, I'm feeling good, Ewok. Do you know why?
Why?
Because you got your name right at the start of this episode, which is always a good idea. I'm also feeling quite good about what we've been working on for the past hour prior to recording.
Yeah, we've been working on a new craft. We haven't yet attempted to fly the damn thing, so we don't know if it's going to work. I've done it again.
Oh, you did that last time.
I know.
Right.
Back to the menu.
Back out.
But yeah, we're looking at doing a little bit of experimentation here and a little bit of science gathering at the same time.
Yeah, really kind of like not really building this up to be the commitment that we are now showing to Geordie Space Program here, because we have designed an absolute beast.
Well, let's load it up and we can actually show people what we've designed. As I said, it hasn't been tested, so it may not work. We called it the Solar Explorer.
Yep.
It's probably the most expensive thing we've ever made. Rocking in 300 grand.
I think
These
so.
are all large parts. We've got 3 stages here. We've got this bottom stage, which has big mainsail engines.
It's the only bit.
Of
It's
them.
the only bit that I'm worried about, because if that gets up into a decent orbit, I think we can go anywhere we want with this thing.
We'll see though. It might not. It is a heavy craft, so whether that's enough or not.
It's the biggest and most expensive thing we have.
Then we've
ever
got
built.
this second stage. You've got a big fuel tank there, which isn't actually connected to an engine, but it's cross-feeding to these outside tanks.
just a reservoir to feed the atomics.
6 atomic motors, and then
the
we've got a
atomics-
small lander stage.
The atomics, just to jump back onto this, we said about 5 or 6 episodes ago, oh, you know what, for the sake of making videos a little bit more watchable, we can't really get away with using the atomics. They're super efficient, but super slow.
What we might end up doing is cutting in and out of this video while we're doing our manoeuvre.
But my argument that I've put to Ewok prior to recording is, if we've got 6 of the buggers, that's still not going to be a huge amount of thrust, but it's going to be certainly a lot more than just using the one that we're doing previous.
Well, the purpose of this craft is, what we want to do is create a craft that's capable of going to another solar body.
Yep.
And land on one of its moons.
Yep.
Have a little bit of an explore, and then come back.
Yeah.
Now, this craft isn't that craft. This craft is the precursor to that craft. What we're going to do is we're going to get to another solar body, and then we're going to turn around and come back home again, and we're going to assess how much fuel we've got left, how it handled, things like that.
And it's a manned mission as well, which is different to times where we've been to even Gilly before, and we've taken like an unmanned rover.
Now, while we're there, even though we're not going to land, we are going to collect some science.
Yep.
With that in mind, we've got a lot of science gear on there. I've accidentally duplicated them on the other side. This is the one that you'll not have seen before. This is a seismic accelerator.
We've just unlocked that using the science that we've accrued over the past couple of episodes.
We had just over 300 science, so we've just bought that. We've got the barometer and the thermometer, which we might not get to use. We've got 2 goo canisters. We've got that. And
show off the new Communitron at the top as well.
In case we get stuck and we don't make it back, we do have a backup plan, which is to transmit the science home using this.
Look at that!
Bad boy.
Look at that! It looks like proper scientific stuff.
It does.
Doesn't look like something that's been cobbled together in a shed.
So yeah, with any luck, this will get us to another solar body and get us back again for the first time with a crew.
Aye.
I believe it's for the first time with a crew.
Yeah, certainly in this series.
So yeah, and if it works, we'll then use this to build on and develop a lander system that will land us on.
Which we've got some ideas about, but we'll worry about that once we know this works.
Now, we're going to quickly see if there's any available missions that will give us some payback.
Aye.
And that we can build into this. Science data from space around Duna, we could do that. We go to Duna, that's worth 165 grand, and we have half the rocket. Explore, well, we're not going to land, so we'll probably don't want to take them. How about science data from space around Duna?
Yeah, I mean, Gilly and Ike, it's probably not a stone throw away if this works, and I mean, likewise, I was...
But you have to land on them to get the full thing.
I was kind of hinting towards maybe something like Mohort, something that we've never tried before. I've never tried single player, we've never done it on a previous episode, but for the purposes of testing...
This is just the test.
Exactly, if we can get it to Duna and back comfortably, we'll probably be alright to try something super exciting, like a new planet altogether that we haven't seen before in a future episode.
Sounds good.
We're
going to
committed.
do that then.
We've accepted the contract.
You know what? Should we cancel some of the contracts that we're never going to do? We're never going to complete that.
Aye, get rid of it.
I mean, we could complete that, but we've completed most of it. It's only 60 grand for the failure.
Aye.
That's cancel that. Oh no, hang on. It's got deadline never, so let's
Leave
keep it open.
No, there's a good chance we might go back to Eve at some point.
Surface outpost on the Mun. We may yet do that. We came not too far away from it, so we'll leave that. Let's launch this bad boy. Who we're going to send?
Okay then. Expendable. Crew expendable is what I'm thinking. So, not them.
If it works, we'll send one of them later.
Aye.
So we need a pilot who's capable, so we'll send Landble.
Aye. Okay then, yeah, I was going to suggest Mumford and Son, but...
Do you want to send Munford?
Aye, we'll send Mumford.
Okay, Munford, and we'll send... Should we send a scientist? Maximise our returns?
Aye.
Jeffred? We may as well send some people who have some experience, because this will be a good XP gathering mission.
Yeah, and we've got backups as well if something goes wrong.
Should we send the engineer as well? He can't really do much at level 1, but again, it's experience. Hopefully these guys will come back. If not, there's always more people waiting to join.
Queuing around the block to come and join Geordie's space program.
And just quick last minute
we
check
did
of the
we did do this when we built
it. We
it.
did check it, but
we're fine.
Okay, if you say so, buddy.
Right, get up. I hope this doesn't explode on the launch pad.
I hope it actually gets up there. I hope we haven't spent so long designing this and making it look pretty for us to actually get nowhere.
We have been at this for quite some time between recordings. Oh, it's going up. That's always a good starting point.
Right, I'm gonna drop off the throttle a bit because I want it to go up, but I don't want to waste all of our fuel.
Yeah.
From the liquids.
Aye,
because those solids aren't gonna last forever.
Let the solids do the work for you. Aye. Okay.
It's slow and steady.
Yep, it's going straight.
The fuel's dropping quite significantly.
Well, I mean, it's very heavy.
Well, those atomic motors are not going to lift it.
No.
We're now 75% out of liquid fuel. I'm starting to think that this isn't going to cut it.
No, the solids that are running down, we're only about 25% hit. Well,
sorry, that's what I meant. 25.
Aye.
I mean, we had 75% left.
We're getting there. Remember, once you get more into space, things become a little bit easier in terms of fuel.
Yeah, we're only 7,000 meters, and we're at 50% liquid fuel.
Aye. Well, we shall see. I'm sure those atomics. If we can get those atomics up into an orbit, we're fine. So get ready for the drop off. It's coming up.
It's coming up.
This is tense. There's a lot of this shit's gonna fly off. Oh, I don't know what exploded there. A lot of skittering going on. Engines are suddenly getting very hot.
We're moving. Where are we? Yeah, we're probably going to be okay, I hope.
Just need to get ourselves up. That's all we need. Just keep an eye out. Getting loads of speed.
Okay, went too far there.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
We've done better than I was kind of anticipating we would.
Yeah, I thought it might have went horribly wrong.
Aye. Alright. Puff on me fag. Now that we haven't exploded.
Right, I'm just going to burn the last of this fuel.
Pardon for the cough.
Because it's not going to get very far.
Aye. Want to ditch that and then have a look at what these bad boys can do.
Right, now we've fired them off, I'll get an idea of they're going to carry way into orbit alright.
I reckon that's a 5-minute burn. That can't be right.
Of course it can be right. We're using the... We're going to have to start burning now and burning hard.
We'll be alright, man.
You think?
Aye. Look, it's
a 5-minute burn, and we hit our apophysis in 1 minute 30 seconds.
Well,
and we're starting to overheat.
You can, they always look to overheat, but they never overheat too much. What you can do is you can raise your nose slightly above, and it'll buy you a little bit more time at the cost of efficiency.
More than slightly above.
Aye. That'll be all right, man. We'll do it.
You think?
I'm being mindlessly optimistic.
With 5 minutes on the clock, I'd say we should cut out. But to be honest, because I'm not sure if this is going to succeed or not, I think we're going to have to see through the long way.
Aye. If we do actually manage to get ourselves into orbit, we're transfer stage. Definitely, we're going to have to. We're going to have to cut.
Yeah.
But for the time being, I mean, this is drama. It's excitement. This is what space travel's all about.
Okay, the app's going up, so.
Yeah.
We're still approaching it.
Hold it at about a minute. If you can hold the T node at about a minute, we should be alright.
I don't think it's going to work out.
Keep checking.
We definitely need more power coming up.
Aye. It's still not bad though. I mean, if you look, the fuel we've hardly touched it.
You know what? When we redesigned the craft, because we did two, because we actually lost the first design.
We deleted
it
it
was a
by
bit of a
accident.
glitch. Well, we deleted it by accident, but then it wouldn't undo, and I couldn't do anything on the actual. We had an extra fuel tank on top of the original design, which might have just been enough to cut it. You know.
Well, I'm still holding out hope.
At least we know we'll get a good burn time with these atomics.
Oh, aye, burn
even
for a
though
fortnight.
the Delta V is terrible. I think we should just bring this down and try again, because I don't think we're going to get there.
Really?
Well, we're past.
No, we're still pushing it. Look, if you keep that T minus...
I had the bloody manoeuvre node there, didn't I?
There we go. If you keep that at about a minute, we'll be fine. If it's going up, we're not being efficient. If it's going down, we're not being efficient.
We're really not being efficient, though, because we've been burning...
We've got the fuel. We've got the fuel.
We've hardly been burning with any horizontal motion.
But if we keep that at about a minute, that's good signs. Aye, that's fine. Look, we've shaved 2 minutes off already. Another one of them, and then a minute more, and then we're fine. Aye, it's just a case of keeping that one up. We can afford to not be as super efficient as possible with this thing because of the amount of fuel we're carrying. And let's be honest, it's all just feeding into those atomics.
We've still used a fair bit of it, and we haven't even broke out of orbit yet.
We'll be alright though. We'll be fine. Once we've got that orbit, it's, not take a huge amount of Delta V to push
It would be
off.
be a lot better off if we just bloody started again rather than trying to see this through.
Let's see it through. Go on.
We're gonna get stuck in space. It's gonna be a disaster. Look, it's not moving, man. This is going to take forever. It'll be quicker to just give up.
Look, you're the pilot, but we are going to see this happen at some point in any event.
It'll be quicker.
Like you're pussing out for no reason. We could have done that.
What do you mean? No, it's going to take forever to bloody sort the bloody orbit out.
We're trying to go to another planet. You can't just go there in 10 seconds, can you? You've got to take a bit of time to get it going.
Let's tweak this staging a bit. See if we can bring the whole thing down so we save some of our cash.
Yeah, because this is 300 grand's worth of gear. I still think we could have done it, you know. What are you doing?
The parachutes aren't deploying, so...
It's a bit strange. Right, it's going to weigh quite a bit coming down here, because they're still carrying basically a full fuel tank, which weighs a ton.
What's the worst that'll happen? Everyone dies?
Yeah, everyone dies and we'll waste 300 grand for something that I'm sure we could have got that working, you know.
Yeah, mate, it was going to take forever.
But that's the point, though.
What? It's going.
We're not good enough to do things quickly and work.
No, I think it's far better to just cut our losses and come back.
I'm not with you on this one. I think we've hit a disagreement. What are you proposing instead, then?
A little bit extra fuel on the mainsails and maybe an extra 33% solid boosters.
Right. That still doesn't change the fact that once we're up in space we're going to have a ridiculous burn. But are you therefore relying on the liquid fuel of the launch stage to at least get with the orbit?
Oh, at least get we're close to the orbit. Achieving the orbit with those atomic motors is just throwing away fuel.
Aye, but we've got loads of it.
Yeah, we've got a lot of it, but not an infinite amount. We used nearly a third of our fuel.
You know what?
And we weren't anywhere close to achieving that orbit.
Do you know what I might do? I might take the craft file from our save here, and I might put it into my single player. That was sticky keys. That's a bit annoying. I might take the craft file and I might do a little mini video where I try and use the exact craft as it is now.
To do what we're attempting to do.
Aye, to prove that it can be done. I might do that as a bit of a challenge. And if it doesn't work, the video will never see the light of day, and we'll just ignore that.
Not sticky keys!
I've turned those bastards off, definitely, between the last time that we recorded, when we had like a bit of bother going on with them. That was about 3 episodes ago, mind. But I've definitely turned them off. They're persistent little bastards. You're actually bringing speed down very well here.
Using the atomics, yeah.
Aye.
I bet it's a lovely view from inside the cockpit there.
Aye.
I still think this thing's going to smash to bits when it hits the water.
There's a good chance of it, to be honest. Just be quick with the old recover button. Just keep your cursor up towards the top of the screen. Oof, oof, oof.
Yeah, most of it just exploded there.
Yeah.
We'll see how much we actually managed to bring back.
I think we saved the crew.
That's the important bit. Recovery of a vessel.
No signs.
We got 12,000 back.
Shit.
And we got the crew. Wow. Oops. Bloody water physics is awful, isn't it?
I think it was just the weight of everything piling on. Even if it just touches the water gently, it's still going to properly smash up.
Pop them off. And what I'd like to do is select them and offset them a bit.
Now, you do realise that if this doesn't work, we will have probably sank Geordie's space programme, because this is going to put us down to about 3/4 of a mil.
We can always get back. We started with less than 3/4 of a mil.
That's true.
We built this thing up from the ground.
Aye, but then that was things like just like get a new altitude level or something like that, you know? It wasn't too bad at all. Why won't it go on? And try your Alt key and see if that'll snap to.
No, it's not helping.
Is it because we offset them there, do you reckon?
Nah, it's just plain silly buggers.
Nice. When in doubt, fiddle with the camera a little bit.
And we'll pop them back up.
Alright.
That's what we originally had in terms of the fuel from that initial stage.
It does add a lot of weight though, and it's that idea of diminishing returns, isn't it? That's the real killer. And then you want 3 of these maniacs on, or 3
of these bad boys, yeah.
Aye. Alright. Wonky.
Oh, them struts are going to get in the way, and there's no way I can take the struts off, so we might just have to pop them back on again from the beginning.
Aye. Every time with the little ones.
There you go.
I really hope this works. I really do.
We've recovered from worse.
It's true, but it's the frustration if it doesn't work. After like bringing that other one down early. It always kind of throws us off kilter a little bit. Every time we start an episode, I'm always filled with this hope, like this is the time we're going to do something epic.
We've had a couple of good ones.
But even so, I mean, the past couple have been alright, but that's no big shakes. Like, put a little piddly satellite in orbit. But when it comes to the big stuff, the exciting stuff, I want to be able to show our viewers parts of the solar system that we haven't been to before. I want them to discover these things with us. And instead, what do we get? Just us tutting at a computer screen as something just demolishes itself on the water.
Our viewers know what to expect by this stage.
I know, but it would be nice just to give them something back and say, oh, look, here's a planet. Maybe you haven't seen this planet, or maybe, well, they probably have. I'm assuming that...
They're probably further along than us, given that we only play once a week.
This is true. But in any event, it would be great to be able to show somebody something exciting. When we were first thinking about this series in the good old glory days about a year ago, I still remember thinking, oh, well, it'd be great, we'll be able to show people things like sunrise,
Whoa! Bit of a staging mistake there.
Christ.
Now this is going a lot faster than before.
Yeah, but what I was going to say is I was expecting we could show people like the sunrise on Jewel, Well, maybe not on Jewel, but around Jewel. We could land on Lathe, show people some of the lakes, have ourselves a little base there. I was inspired watching people like Harv, watching people like Scott Manley, not thinking we could be as good as that, like just click our fingers, but thinking, oh well, at least we can show some stuff off that maybe other players haven't been able to get to easily, and instead we don't.
Well, yeah, but we could if that's what we set out to achieve, but we didn't. We set out to make a sort of slapdash series where we just cobbled stuff together on the fly, sent it up, didn't do any editing, and just dicked around.
I know, I mean, initially, if you remember Geordie's space programme, the very first episode, the idea was to say we're going to get to the moon. And I think it took about 5 episodes until we actually managed to do it. As very new players.
We've come a long way from those days.
We have, but we've still got... Oh well, there we go. There goes Geordie Space Program. Fucked. Another 300 grand shat into the atmosphere. We are properly screwed now, boy. Properly screwed.
Not at all.
I mean, that looks quite nice.
It does.
Look at that money escaping. Notes frittering their way out the windows.
Well, that was a bit of a disaster, wasn't it? Why did it come apart like that?
We've just spent the best part of 700 grand here, mate.
Why
or
did it?
600.
Why did it just explode to bits like that?
Because we've made an even bigger and more expensive Red Lars, is what we've done here. Because what I've learnt is, the first time we tried to launch it, might have been able to get away with it, but probably not, let's be honest. Second time we've made something, and now it's just going to explode apart. It nearly did when we tried it the first time, to be fair. So now, 50% success rate. The only downside being, money is a real thing now, and that's 300 grand. 300 grand gone, and then we did it again. 600 grand gone. This, and I've said this a few times unfortunately in the past half dozen or so episodes, has been the most expensive 10 minutes of Geordie Space Program we've ever done. We've just destroyed the 2 biggest rockets we've ever made in 10 minutes. For what? At least this bit's going to come down nice and fucking slow, because the rest of the rockets now in pieces in the stratosphere.
We need to review the explosion and find out exactly what happened and how we can protect it.
I am going to
don't transmit it, we're going to land.
No, we're not transmitting anything, I'm just putting that out because it calms us. Looking at the nice thing.
I think this is a nice view. You've got the mun over there. I don't know what that is. Just a star perhaps, and then...
We spent 300 grand to get 27 kilometres away from where we started.
27.4.
27. You know, I drove more than that to go to Bamborough Castle yesterday. And also, I didn't mention this, I mentioned in the past video that I'd been to Bamborough Castle. I also got a hankering for some kippers.
Yeah.
I love a kipper. I'm not a big fan of fish, but I love a kipper.
Horrible things.
Craster. Craster's world famous for its kippers. That's just next to Bamborough Castle. So I said, since we're up here, I'm going to go and get some kippers. And you know what? It was closed. I was too late. We dithered too long in the tea rooms at Bamborough Castle, and then I didn't get any kippers. And the same sense
of disappointment
that I had is back. What I consoled myself was, there was a nice view. But you know what? Didn't have kippers for breakfast this morning. There wasn't any in the house.
You're so full of rage, Gonzo.
We've just spent 600 grand to get less distance that I travelled for kippers that I didn't get.
Peanuts.
If I had to pay 300 grand...
You know what we
to get
also neglected here? Legs.
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about it. We're coming in very slow.
Just throw more money on the bonfire. Why not?
Jeffred's happy.
Oh yeah, they're fucking in hog heaven right now, those. They had a great time of it. They're not the ones that are having to explain this to the accountants, are they?
We'll make the money
They just fly the rockets.
At least it gives them an idea of what to do for the next episode. What's that there?
I think that's a rock. We did not spend 600 grand to look at a rock.
We've discovered rocks! That's a little blade of grass or something.
Well, coming down. It's alright.
What a landing!
600 grand spinning top.
Oh! I've got some science.
600 grand's worth.
44.
It's not 600 grand's worth.
And we recovered 30. We recovered 10% of that particular loan.
We're down to just over 750,000 in the pot.
And no XP gain for the crew. We'd better call it a day. And
Yeah.
think about how we're going to recover from this.
If we try and do something like that again now, in this mindset, it's going to go horribly tits up, and then we've got literally no cash. We're going to be back to poking berries up our noses for the amusement of idiots.
Science theatre from Space Around Kerbin. 33 grand.
Oh, we can do that.
Plus 5 grand on the thing. So we're talking like nearly 40 grand there. Look at all that debris.
Right, let's find it. Hang on. It's a very good point.
So here we go. We'll nip up to one of our satellites and we'll recoup some of our loss.
It's not so for losses though, is it? 44 grand. What's 44 as a percentage of 600,000? What's 44,000 as a percentage of 600,000?
This isn't
12th?
44.
A 12th?
This isn't 44. It's not even 44. Contract cancelled. That's
wasn't
what I
bad.
did before. Contract complete. Yeah, you got 33 grand plus the 5 grand initial. So a little over 10%.
Oh well, that was handy. As long as we're ending on a plus, you know.
End on a high. You got to end on a high,
Oh,
Hey, Doc, we're getting back to where we were. Now we're at 814.
that's not where we were.
We're getting close.
That was 550 grand less than where we started about 20 minutes ago.
There's plenty of things we can do.
We're going to have to be very clever in next episode about what we do. We need a success and we need some cash. Otherwise, we are fucked.
And we will see you then, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye.